Okay, everyone, let's do this for the 25th of July, 2023. As always, if you want this emailed to you along with access to my watch list and all the stocks you see, go to statsedgetrading.com, sign up for the email list. I don't spam you, just this daily video. And if I ever get back to blogging, I'll probably send those out as well. All right, as always, into Bitcoin. I actually took a short yesterday on Bitcoin. It looks like that candle closed under this zone that we were talking about right here. So I took a little bit of a short position. I expect to get chopped out just because that's what Bitcoin's doing. But this is the first kind of sustained move that I've seen in this in a while, which makes me think that we could actually get some sort of a push down. Maybe we retest this area right here. We see what happens, down here. But until then, who knows, right? Nice tight risk. If we close kind of back up in this area, I'll probably get out and move on to the next thing. Now, if we go into just type GBP, USD, actually watching this one took a little bit of a long trade on the pound versus the dollar here. Some call it cable, but just playing off these highs right here. We bounced up, we came back, we're now like 5 days in a row, we tagged it, now we're bouncing off. So a little bit of a push up, I think, is interesting here. Also gold, XAU, USD, same kind of thing, right? We have this area that was resistance in through here, and then resistance here, and maybe support here as well. So we broke out of that, we came back to it. It's the anchored view up from this low as well. Looks like we're bouncing off that. So that is it for the currencies. Now let's get into stocks. So not a whole lot to talk about just because we have the S&P 500 here. We have this tight range that we're just battling, right? And this is, I'm recording this on Tuesday, right after the market closed. Tomorrow is FOMC. I completely ignore the market until FOMC is out. I don't even open up a chart. I won't look at anything. I just keep everything closed. What I see is, hey, we're in a range. We're waiting for this news to occur. We're going to break out one way or the other. So the end of tomorrow, I think, is interesting, and then into Thursday to actually see what's going on there. A couple, just two quick ETFs that were interesting. One is XLB. So I have this listed as home builder, and it's not. It's materials. I will have to change that, but when you see that in the email, just ignore that. I'll change that from home builders to materials. Materials is breaking out here in this little range. So, hey, could be bullish on the economy, whatever it is, but we're getting some catch up here, showing that, hey, it's not always big tech that's moving things. This is material sectors. It's certainly as far away from tech as you could get. Uranium is also looking interesting. We've had this kind of box right here in uranium, big push up, some sideways consolidation, fell off from that level right there, pulled back a little bit. So if this breaks, pick your favorite uranium play. Might be something interesting there. A couple trades taken today. Again, there's not too many just because of FOMC that's coming. But essentially, we have SG. I took some SG today. We have earnings really soon on this one. So this might just be, take a couple days and get out unless I am up really big. I'm not going to hold this into earnings. Now it's a food service, so I don't expect, biotech crazy earnings, but, could just be a couple day scalp. We have a nice little push up from this area. This came from the anchored view app from the before the gap scan. So you draw the anchored view app on this candle right before the gap, and you can see how when it pushes up, it rides that level. So that's super interesting. Redfin and Weight Watchers I entered yesterday, so that's old news. So let's go down to the stocks that I added. So again, you can see here in this list, I have tons. And I actually have notes now. I'm going to try to be better about having notes for each individual one. And if you want, you can sign up for the email list. You can go over to Trade Ideas. You can copy and paste that in, and it will just give you this list. And I update it every day in the email list. So if you get the email, you have that. If you don't have Trade Ideas, give it a shot with Stats Edge Trading on checkout. So BKKT, add this one. This one is a crypto exchange. Basically, I've been using this anchored VWAP from major swing lows on downtrending stocks to try to kind of time reversals. So we have this low right here. I think that's the all-time low in this individual stock, and then a nice push off it. And then we've pulled back and we're kind of hugging that anchored VWAP right there. So if we start to push off that, that's the trade I'll take. We have a 17% short float on this one. It's pretty significant here. DBI. So DBI, if you just anchor that again before this little gap, you can see comes back in. And again, I have it named here, a VWAP from the gap. So we've been hugging that as well, 15% short float. So if this can get a reversal off that one, that's interesting. We have BBIO. This one I'm basically just playing because there's some crazy news here. Again, this is a pharmaceutical, so be careful with those, but just some wild news, earnings or something happened. Look at the volume spike that occurred right there. Big push up, coming back, and we held the anchored VWAP from before the gap. Again, I've talked about this is one of my favorite scans right now for gap continuation plays. Domino Pizza, we had on the list, but we actually had to remove it because earnings was coming up. Now that we've got earnings, it was a pretty nasty candle after earnings, so we're actually reversing a lot of that. So if we can get over 400 on this one, might be a good time for some pizza. The last one that I've added, again, there's more on here, but for brevity, I'll just go over the ones that I've added. And again, if you want the rest, just grab the email list. Just again, the anchored VWAP from this low. So major swing low in here. We anchor our VWAP from there. We can see on this candle and on this candle, we really respect that. We have a 26% short float on this one. And as somebody who lives in Canada, they make good stuff because it gets really cold up here. So that is it for new trading. I will say, be careful. Wait, FOMC tomorrow. There's going to be a lot of horse crap that goes on. You get a big up move, and then you get a big down move, and then you get a big up move, and then you get a big down move, and then he talks a half hour later, and then the market makes up a direction. So for me, I've tracked my trading, even my day trading, which I don't do too much of anymore, but always suffered on FOMC day. So now I just skip it entirely. I'll come in, I'll check on the close. That will at least give us some direction of what's going on. But just know the big guys, the large institutions, large funds, they're going to wait till Thursday. They're going to take the day and read what he said and, do all that boring stuff. So that next day, that's when things are really going to move. So summer, take the day, enjoy the day. I will talk to you guys soon.